Hello, everybody, and welcome to GameList, a show about our game of the year, 1 month at a time. And this month is finale month. This is it, our game of the year. We've been working towards this. What's going on, Kaulin?
The end of season 1.
We're
going to be starting season. Yeah, and then next season I'm hosting, and then season 3 you're hosting.
I don't think so. I don't think. No, I don't think I can give up the reins, man. People are writing in. They're saying, "Whoa, keep things the way that they are."
Really?
I don't know.
Where have I missed these notes at?
Here, there, everywhere. Regardless,
I do.
You go ahead.
I think the show I hosted was kind of a hit, though, so we'll have to give it.
Yeah, she was all right.
Credit where credit's due.
It was good. It was a one-off. You'll get another opportunity to take another shot at it, but I think we got a good thing. Moving here. Talk to me about 2022 for you in gaming in general. Like, stack it up against 2021. You have a good year?
I think so. I played a lot of games this year because it's the way we've tracked things on our little like Google Doc.
Mm-hmm.
We can see all the games that we played each month. Even like to hop in for an hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really tracked things like this before, and it really adds up just how many games I have played this year. It's a lot, and it's really cool to kind of reflect in the year with that entire list staring at you. It was a good year.
I mean, it's tough to, I don't know. It's tough to stack up 2022 against 2021 as a whole. Like, if you were making a top 20 list of our top 10s for both of them, I feel like 2022 for the most part would dominate the top 10 of game of the year for the past 2 years for me. I mean, there's some wins. You remember what your GOTY was last year?
Returnal.
Yeah. Mine was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I think would come in 4th this year for me.
I think.
Where would Returnal rank for you? I mean, no spoilers.
Returnal would be 2nd.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love Returnal.
That's interesting. That'll be interesting with context really soon. But then a steep drop off. My second game of the year was Halo Infinite, which has aged like fucking milk. But that would come in what, 8th for me, and then you had Forgotten City at 2nd. Where would that rank? That'd be like 6th, right?
Probably 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
Right around, yeah.
So 2022, a solid year. But this will be an interesting episode because if you're a first-time listener of this show, the premise is we talk about our GOTY as it goes. So every single month, we update our Game of the Year list. So if you've been listening to this time and time again, this is going to be a lot of recap. This honestly won't be our longest episode. The idea behind our podcast is that we're making this conversation easy. Instead of having 8 hours of deliberations where Kaulin and I jump down each other's throats and argue about which games are better.
We've already done that
games.
for the past 12 months.
We're done. We're good. The thing that he and I aligned on, I mean, obviously we're both big in like keeping up with like the video game industry, indie and major news outlets, and we've been listening to a lot of GOTY talks and talking about how other people did their coverage this year. The thing that we found with the gaming industry was that these things are shrouded in fucking negativity every time there's a game of the year discussion. There is so much arguing for your game and so much putting down of other people's games that I think the idea of what GOTY lists should be is kind of lost, and it made for some of the most unenjoyable podcast episodes of the year for a lot of people. So our goal is to have the jolliest game of the year discussion ever. The work is done. We're just reporting in, recapping some stuff, and then we've got a bunch of superlatives, we're calling them. So little accolades that we want to give to games, special shout-outs, categories like most anticipated 2023 game, best platinum, best game to play in one day, best thing, best media, best game that we played this year that didn't come out this year, things along those lines that'll be more interesting and newsworthy for those of you at home. What should we cover before we hop into things, dude?
I think we should just get right into it, yeah?
I think we should. No big changes going into 2023. This is acting as our January episode, so we're going to not skip a beat. Come a month from now, you'll be hearing us hop in and premiering our 2023 Game of the Year list with probably 1 or 2 games on it a piece. But for the most part, that's a wrap on 2022. We're recording this bitch on December 30th. So unless some game shadow drops tomorrow and we need a hell of a lot of time to play it, I think we're in business to give you an accurate read on where everything clocked in this year. And for me, it started with my number 10 game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I love this video game so much, and it's a special one, I think, for us because we played it together, dude, on the internet.
We did. Do you have a picture of my cosplay?
No, I don't. But if you look at youtube.com/@JakeTwitchin, that's twitching with no G, you could definitely find it. And while you're there, check out, at Kaulin _ KAULINE. You got some YouTube channels, but that full playthrough is up there. We played this game in 6-player co-op, and it was just the jolliest time ever. Such a carefree, hang out with your buddies, smash on some fucking NPCs. Any comments? That's right.
Yeah, I played it as April.
Just a really fun video game, man. Like,
yeah, it was
super
fun.
simple. It's a beat 'em up. It's as deep as you'd want a beat 'em up to be. It offers more than you might expect, if we're being honest, but truly just a real throwback. Like, not reinventing the wheel here, not doing anything that you would not expect them to do, but just hitting all of those high points that you would want out of a 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up. If you ever played that Ninja Turtles arcade game back in the day, if you ever played Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo with like a sibling or a best friend, this is the fucking video game for you. I cannot recommend it enough. It's like 2 hours long. It's a great game to just play through in one sitting, and the 4-player local co-op and the 6-player online co-op only sells it further. Just what a time.
Yeah, this game did not make my top 10, mainly just because I don't have the nostalgia for this type of game, but I did have a great time playing with friends. It was a fun time. So
yeah, knocked it out in 2 sessions. It was like 2.5 hours long. That's with banter from a couple of professional streamers. Just awesome. Your number 10 was Cult of the Lamb, which, spoiler alert, is one of my misses this year.
Yeah, Cult of the Lamb is like a roguelike city builder type thing. It's kind of like a sim aspect where you can manage your cult and you get to do really silly things. All of your members are super cute animals, and you're just making them eat dishes of poop, or you can feed them mushrooms, which will make them work around the clock tirelessly. You can put them in jail whenever they act bad. All sorts of just like super cute but like dark things. It's a very curious mixture between like a cult and like children's book, right?
Yeah.
It was a great time. I knocked it out in like 2 or 3 days. It wasn't a very long experience, but I think that is.
What did you log for hours on that?
15 maybe.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look at it. But I did get the platinum on it. Yeah. It wasn't too long. The combat was a little like tiresome. It wasn't Hades. It's hard to be Hades when it comes to roguelikes. But it was really just the interaction between the management and the roguelike, because if you don't want to go fight, then you can just build up your colony or your cult, and then you have less of a reason to fight. So it really bridged the gap between those two genres quite well, while being very cute.
Overstay its welcome, if that's the case too. If you weren't so in on the combat, at least it wasn't hours and hours of it. That's one of the gripes that I've had recently with High on Life, where that game is good and fun and better than you might expect, and the thing that is grating is not the constant comedy, which is hit or miss, no doubt, but is the combat overstays its welcome. There's a lot of just being thrown into like a open pit and you fight enemies until all the enemies are gone, and I'm just sick of it all the time. I think a nice tight 15-hour experience that's like surrounded by a roguelite is more up my alley. This isn't my misses. Like I do want to check this game out at some point. I think
it's quite nice. It's very pretty, very cute.
Yeah,
it's worth it. It's worth your time. Yeah.
Not so bad. Nice. All right, Cult of the Lamb. My number 9 is Splatoon, baby. Splatoon 3. I finally got into Splatoon. I did a weird thing this year a couple times. This year is maybe the most video games that I've ever played, and part of it was like in service of this podcast, where I felt like I had, I don't know, not like a responsibility, but I had an urge to explore more games so that I could speak to them, I mean, you know, more professionally. And Splatoon has been something that's been on my radar for a long time. I spent a couple hours with Splatoon 1. I spent maybe an hour with Splatoon 2, and with Splatoon 3 they had a open beta. It was that early Splatfest that you and I played together that I kind of jumped in on, and I was like, let me see if I can get into Splatoon, and I ended up really getting into Splatoon. And this is the number one. I've always had like my second game of the year that we already talked about was Halo Infinite, and I always have like a Call of Duty or a Halo or an Apex or a Fortnite. I have that third person or first person shooting game that I am playing. And this year, it was fucking Splatoon, oddly enough, which I never would have thought would be the case, but it ended up being a really, really tight package. I love what Splatoon has to offer. I think it is a fully unique shooting game, but a shooting game at its core, so it still hits those same things. Did you dig it when you played it?
I had a great time with the Splatfest that we played, but I also kind of had my fill of it then.
Sure.
I have a hard problem sticking with PvP games.
I get that.
And I know this has like a campaign to it, but it wasn't enough to draw me back.
It's tough.
I had a great time when we played though.
I played maybe an hour of the campaign. I didn't even complete the campaign. That's maybe one of the coolest things about this game. One of the things that got me most excited was you listened to the first Splatoon 3 episode where we did coverage for it. It was maybe like July, I want to say, or August, where right after that Splatfest, they put out a like 25-minute Nintendo Direct that I adored, where they showcased everything that this game has to offer. And in the final package, it is just that. It is a full package. It is absolutely insane what is packed into this. I think one of my favorite quotes of the year is that I hope everybody's favorite franchise gets the treatment that Splatoon 3 got from Nintendo this year. The way that this game was developed and the things that it has to offer are so extravagant. There are so many different modes, so many things to do, so many things to collect, so many ways to customize. It is just so often games come out and they are nickel and diming you left and right. They are pay to play, they are pay to win, even worse, or they feel like an unfinished product. Splatoon 3 is the furthest thing from that in the world. It acts not only as like a greatest hits from Splatoon's 1 and 2, but also adds so much more. So truly a joy to play. I can't sing its praises enough. I honestly, it's one of the games that I feel now as I speak about it out loud, 9 feels low. You know, like right. I'm thinking about it now and I'm like, wow, maybe Splatoon should have gone higher, but I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm pretty locked in. I've looked at this list exhaustively. Let's get into your number 9, which is interesting and a new entry for you. This is here at the final hour. Immortality.
Yeah, speaking of a game that 9 feels too low, Immortality, I actually played it on my phone, funny enough.
Really?
Yeah, I played it through the Netflix thing because I was like, well, I don't want to buy it because I might not enjoy it. So I played it through the Netflix thing, which is actually really great. You just look up the game on Netflix, click it, and it takes you to a link to download it. Wonderful. This game does an amazing job. Manon Gage, the main actress in this game, is absolutely wonderful. She plays, let's try to break it down just to explain how impressive her acting is. There's Manon Gage, who plays a character called Marissa Marcel. Marissa Marcel is an actress within the world of Immortality, and Marissa Marcel acts in 3 different movies: Ambrosio, Minsky, and 2 of Everything. So Manon Gage is acting as 4 people throughout the game. Marissa Marcel, who is then acting as 3 different characters.
Yeah.
She just pulls it off flawlessly. She's an amazing actress. She deserves to hit it big, truly. But there are, I don't know. Have we decided if this is a spoiler-free game of the year, chat?
Spoiler-free.
Yeah. There are other characters in this game that truly surprise you and captivate you. There are characters that at the beginning they terrify you, but by the end you truly sympathize with them and you understand their struggles. I'm trying to keep it as vague as possible.
Yeah.
This game really like it did a great job of captivating me at every turn, but also I got to watch 3 very like specific timepiece movies, which was really cool. And sometimes I felt like something was standing behind me while I was playing the game, just because of the way it plays out.
Too fucking creepy for me.
Yeah,
but
it
for
was
everything that I understand, it just seems like a wholly unique video game that
absolutely
sets out to do something and then just hits the fucking nail on the head.
It does something that a straight up game can't do, but a straight up movie can't do either. It does something perfectly. It does what it's trying to do perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I have only one complaint with this game. Is well, the mechanic is fine. You can see on the screen right now if you're watching the video version. You pretty much click on things in the scene and it will zoom in and then zoom out in another scene with the same thing. So you can click on fire or a candle in one scene, and it will take you possibly to an entirely different movie with another candle burning, or with this same actress, or with a chair or something. So that's how you get around scenes and unlock new scenes to piece together the whole puzzle. But you can beat the game without unlocking all of the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I beat the game because I think there's like 15 like essential scenes that you have to see, and if you get like 10 of those, you get the credits. So I beat the game and I was going back to play more, and I think I fat fingered it on my phone and pressed new game and lost all my progress and didn't get to see all the other scenes that I missed. I can't really blame the game for that, but what a wonderful game. If you haven't played it,
how did that affect yeah, probably not even a good question to ask, but
well, it was the end of the game. It was after I finished it. It returns you back to the main screen, and I went to continue, but I think I accidentally pressed new game, and it yeah.
Got it.
One another amazing thing about this game is it's wholly unique to each individual player because it starts you at a random scene every time, and you're not all following the same path. You're not all going to click on the same objects, and it's going to take you through a random set of scenes every time that no other player is going to have that exact same path that you had. So it's beautiful. I love this game. Makes you think a lot too. It's a big thinker game.
Big thinker, not my style. Not my style. Although honestly, this game ended up being a little bit of a thinker, and this is our only instance of having the same game in the exact same spot. Look at this. We can go back and forth. It turns purple and blue. Stray is our number 8 video game. I was so late to the party on Stray. I haven't talked about it on GameList yet, I don't believe. Yeah, I don't think so.
Sure.
Oh, you know what? No, I think I did talk about it last month. But
that's right, you did. Yeah.
But you know what? I fucking love Stray. I think this is such a cool little standalone video game. Annapurna only putting out bangers ever. And
12 minutes.
It is all right. Mostly putting out bangers all the time. It is the third-person action adventure game, I would guess you would say. Action puzzler, stealth puzzler. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's a third-person adventure puzzle game.
Adventure, yeah.
Adventure, because it's not really action-y. There's a couple instances of action. There's a couple instances of platforming, you could argue, but for the most part, it is just very much like almost a walking simulator, but it is just so cool in what it does. And another very unique video game. Like, there's nothing like it. I just had such a good time playing it, and it's such a nice, concise experience. Stray is opening intro to credits, 5 hours, flat. Tight package. Where do you stand on Stray?
Well, Stray is also my number 8. Yep. And I would say this is a perfect example of a 8 game. Like, this game is by no means revolutionary, but it is a joy to play all the way through, and it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
I am not a huge cat guy, but I really enjoyed like the story that this game told. And I I enjoyed the way it ended. It had a really cool ending, in my opinion.
It does stick the landing.
Yeah, it does. It
Much
does.
like a cat.
True. I have a couple of complaints about this game. That's why it's stuck at number 8. Mainly, I feel like a lot of the times you feel like a human in a cat body in this game, and just the things that you're doing. You don't feel like a cat the whole time.
Sure.
But then again, I did do a lot of. I got the platinum on this game, so I had to go through and collect everything, and that probably hurt it a little bit. Because cats aren't gonna walk around town collecting 8 pages out of a notebook.
No, yeah, I did not platinum. Is it worth talking about how you platinumed like every game on your list?
Yeah, I guess. I did platinum every game on my list until I changed it up a little bit. I added Immortality, which technically I can't platinum, and Citizen Sleeper, which is coming up, that I can't because it was on Switch. That's okay. They already know it from last time. But no, Stray was great. I wish the cat had a name. That's my last complaint with it. What is his name? It's just Cat.
Whatever you want it to be.
I wish they had
cats don't just come with
names
names that you have to stick with. You name it yourself.
Wouldn't it be cool if they added like customization to the cat where you can make it
What's
look like
your dog's
Grinch?
name? How did you get it?
From a video game.
Well, fucking name it whatever you want. You can name it Sly Cooper. I love the cat Sly Cooper from Stray. I understand that's wrong on many levels, but
sure. He's a raccoon.
He's a. All right. Let's
positivity, Jake. Positivity.
Positivity. Hey, it's not about our game of the year list. I'm just making fun of Sly Cooper. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
It does count. You can never make fun of Sly.
Pokemon Legends Arceus is my number 7. And spoiler alert, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet do not pop up on my game of the year list. This is my fucking pick. Honestly, at the beginning of the year, granted the game came out in January, it was my game of the year, but it was my game of the year for longer than you might expect. For like 4 or 5 months, I am obsessed with Pokemon Legends Arceus. I will not sit here and, I don't know, I'm not going to sing its praises too much. I don't want to bog everybody down with things that I've been really beating you all over the head with for the entire year. But Pokemon Legends Arceus is the most important thing to happen to Pokemon since Pokemon was actually introduced, since Red and Blue in like 1998. This will go down in history as a underrated video game, unfortunately, and will not get credit for what it accomplished. It's already being overshadowed by Scarlet and Violet, but this game walked so that those games could run. It finally changed the formula of Pokemon that had hardly changed for many, many years. It is a wonderful third-person, mostly open-world RPG that is plagued with some technical issues in a lesser form than Scarlet and Violet are. I adore Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't take that lightly. I fucking adore it. I think it is the right size package for what it is as well, and it has a moment in it that I almost gave it. I might give it like a runner-up type of thing in like best thing when we talk about it, but there is a moment in the story of Pokemon Legends Arceus that is the most that I've ever felt any feeling in any Pokemon game, where I went, holy fuck, this is wild that they're going there. And Pokemon has like a notorious like track record of doing weird and crazy shit, but for the most part the stories are throwaway kid saves the world type of bullshit, and this game does some stuff where I was like, what the fuck, this is actually kind of wild that it's happening. So I really dig Pokemon Legends Arceus. You gave 0 fucks about it?
Oh yeah, I don't care about it.
That's okay.
How do you feel about the Pokemon show ending?
I don't give a fuck. I watch when people ask, I always say that I don't watch anime. I actually did watch like a fair amount of Pokemon when I was a kid. But that was because it was Pokemon, not because it was anime, and that clearly didn't transfer.
Why are you so scared of watching anime?
I'm not like scared of it. I just don't always like. I don't know. I don't like looking at like animation. We'll fucking get there because apparently all I like is anime shit.
I don't like looking at animation. And I'm looking at your list.
Next year, mid 2023 is the premiere of Anime List. It's a podcast of our favorite animes of the year.
A quick little aside that I want to bounce off of you, just a thought that I've had is we've seen, this is aside from top 10, but I'm just, while it's on my mind, we've seen Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out in disarray, right? It is just kind of bleeding from every angle. And recently, more than ever, people have been saying, we gotta have a Switch Pro. We gotta have a Switch Pro.
Yeah.
And personally, I believe that is part of the problem with Pokemon. Not that there's not a Switch Pro. It's just people blame Pokemon's problems on the fact that it's older hardware. But we've still got other games like Xenoblade doing wonderfully on the older hardware.
It's a Game Freak. It's Creatures. It's Nintendo. It's, I think, primarily Game Freak, because Nintendo obviously has a commitment to quality with their other internal studios that are not compromised with various ownership, where things like Xenoblade exist. Breath of the Wild is now almost 5 years old and blows Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet out of the fucking water. It is not a hardware issue, clearly. And at this point, I'm sick of hearing Switch Pro stuff, because a Switch Pro would extend the lifespan of a fucking already obsolete technology-wise system. Switch 2 with full backwards compatibility is Switch what I would be looking for at this point.
Yes, I agree. Which I'm also like, the reason I bounced that off, that just idea that I had in my head, was just because I'm not the Nintendo person around here.
Yeah, no.
So
I like the lowbrow games. I like the 7s. You like the highbrow 10s.
Yeah, quoted straight from our Discord DMs. But no, I feel like Pokemon gets it too easy. People are willing to give up too much ground for Pokemon.
If you listen to last month's episode where I go on like a 7-minute tangent trying to explain where the Pokemon problem lies and what to do about it, it is a absolute fucking gaming conundrum, and I still do not have the answer, because at the same time Pokemon Legends Arceus does so much wrong, it does so much right, and it could be said that Scarlet and Violet does even more right and does even more wrong as well. But still, in the long run, it's Pokemon and it's beloved, and it's the only place to get that fucking sweet fix. So
do you think if Scarlet and Violet came out before Arceus, would that be on your list instead of Arceus?
It's a chicken or the egg type situation. It couldn't happen like that. I don't know if chicken or the egg is the right example there, but yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible to say, because there's so much that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet wouldn't be able to do if the team that was working on Legends Arceus hadn't done what they did. Does that check out?
But regardless of that, like you know, not counting like if it's possible.
Do you mean like you can't do like a what if this one came out first? That would be like,
it's
what
just
if,
kind of a question
if Dishonored
of like
2 came out before Dishonored 1, would you like Dishonored 2 more type of thing?
Is the reason you have Arceus on the list because it was the game in which you felt that wonder of the new Pokemon first?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So maybe not even like, it's not a question of release date. It's a question of like, so say if I hadn't played Arceus and then just played Scarlet and Violet in that situation, would that one be there? Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't done that, then probably it would have taken its spot, because there is a lot that you miss, I guess. I don't know. It's a tough call. It's a conundrum that I'll never have to actually answer for, because Arceus really ended up hitting it home for me. But you know, it's the same, like, you know, the first time you ever double jumped in Sly Cooper, you can't take that fucking feeling away. It sticks with you forever. First time you ever catch a Pikachu out there in Viridian Forest, man, that shit sticks. But all right, it's enough of me rambling about Pokemon. Becoming a recurring theme on this podcast.
We gotta have some of them.
Speaking of recurring themes on this podcast, I'd like you to ramble about the Callisto Protocol. I'm surprised to see it. I don't know. Go ahead.
No. Say it. Say what you're gonna say.
I'm surprised to see it rank so high up on your list after how it was received by the general public. But I know that you're hotter on it than most. So I guess
I am hotter on it than most. I think I think a lot of people expected this game to reinvent horror,
Mhm.
to be the next big step from Dead Space, right? Like Dead Space was huge when it came out. Like it was the next big thing, and I think people expected this game to take that next step. Uh, I never really expected that. I just expected it to be a fun space horror game, and that's exactly what it was. It gave me exactly what I wanted: a little bit of fright, a nice, cool new world, a new like lore of like gross things attacking. I don't know. I dig that kind of stuff. I love like just gross, disgusting alien stuff.
Yeah.
And it gave me that. I would. This was one of the most like enjoyable horror experiences I've ever played. I do think it fails in some aspects of the scares. Like I think some of the scares in this game don't quite hit right. But personally, I think this game would have been ranked lower had it scared me more. Which sounds, I know it's just like it's a horror game, so that's kind of what you want. But um, I don't know. I came to really adore this game. It does have its problems. It has its like repetitive fights and stuff, but I just had a fun time with this game. I streamed it over 2 or 3 days and just had a great time. Got the platinum on this as well. It was a good horror experience. It was not setting a new bar, but that's okay with me. I just had a good time with it.
I get it for sure.
I don't always have to have something revolutionary to
No. Oh, we'll get into that towards the top of my list.
Fiddle.
Oh, baby.
Oh no, yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
All right. Let's get into what might be the most joyous game on my entire list. Number 6 for me is Tinykin. I cannot sing the praises of Tinykin enough. Tinykin is like, if we had a best Nintendo game category, Tinykin would be the winner of best Nintendo game. And it is not a fucking Nintendo game. It's just a video game from an indie studio. But it is so good. It's just a third-person 3D platformer with some Pikmin-like elements in it. And it is just polished to an immaculate shine. It's like 10 hours long, 5 levels. It is just so good. It is so good. It is so fun. It is very much a collectathon. It's a traditional 3D platformer similar to like, I don't know, like a Mario 64, maybe closer to Mario Odyssey, but with less like individual objectives and a little bit more puzzle solving, one would say. But I don't know. It's very tough to explain Tinykin. It's a one-of-a-kind video game. It takes influence from a bunch of different types of games, but does something fully unique, and it is perfection. It is on Game Pass. It is on all consoles to buy. If you don't have Game Pass, play Tinykin. One of my favorites of the year. And it's the only game that I platinumed this year. I didn't technically platinum. I got 1,000 gamer score on it on the Game Pass, but I did everything there was to do in that video game, and I never do that type of shit. Last year, the only game that I did that for was the first game I ever did it for, and it was Ratchet and Clank, my game of the year. So
you're getting closer. I will get you there one day. You'll do it on almost every game.
I know, it's happening, but I wish I had more to say about Tinykin. It is truly a bite-sized game and a very small experience, so I'll just toss it over to you. Your number 6 is Destiny 2.
Speaking of the most joyous experience, I just muted my mic at the end of that sentence just so I could let a burp out. It was flawless execution, but I just had to let you guys know about it.
We're all really impressed.
Yeah, you should be. No, Destiny 2. So, admittedly, Destiny 2 has kind of screwed up my other gaming habits. If you look at the list of games that I've played each month, I have like 5 to 10 games that I play each month. And then when Destiny 2 joins the list, it's cut down to like 3 or 4 each month. But Destiny 2 has been the most I've enjoyed a game in a very long time. Like the most time I have put into a game ever. Well, aside from Skyrim. And, the most time listed on my PlayStation. We'll just say that. I've met a bunch of cool people playing the game. There's always something to do. This game is just a giant checklist, and I love games where I can just mark stuff off the checklist. The story is wonderful. The gameplay is just so good. I mean, it's just an evolution of Halo, but so much more than that now. They're adding things all the time. There's always something new to do. They're adding a new class in February. I'm very excited for the future of this game, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. If this game came out this year, it would be my game of the year. But I knocked it down just a little bit because it didn't technically come out this year. But the Witch Queen was great. The Witch Queen is the best expansion Destiny 2 has ever had.
And that's the expansion that came out this year, which is why we allowed it.
That's the expansion. Yeah, which is why it's allowed. Yes, correct.
Yep.
And I got the Gumshoe seal, which is pretty much doing everything in the Witch Queen. Like it's more like doing 60% of everything. But
hell yeah. All right.
It's very good.
Destiny 2. Tune in every month for the Destiny 2 Minutes. It's where we allow Kaulin 2 minutes to ramble about Destiny because we know that our listeners don't really care. But that's as non-jolly as we allow people to get on this nice podcast.
When the podcast started, we had the Final Fantasy 14 minutes, and it was the worst 14 minutes of every month.
Yeah, that is also true. I wish you in 2023 a healthier relationship with grindy games because you're new to it, and I can see that twinkle in your eye of finally having something to pump out dailies in. And I've been there with MMOs because Destiny is more similar to an MMO than like a Call of Duty or a first-person shooter. And I've seen what it's done to you over the past 4 months, and it's been very time-consuming. Probably not only from your other gaming habits, but from other things in your life too, is my guess. It's probably tough to manage all of that stuff all at once. And I've been there.
I got it. I'm good. One thing pharmacy school has taught me is how to be good at time management. So, I'm good.
I just hope you spend slightly less time in Destiny.
I probably will spend slightly less time because I'm getting caught up.
Yeah.
Like I literally had it came out in 2017, so I had 5 years worth of content to catch up on, and I'm getting there. So I probably will be spending less time in it until Lightfall releases in February. So
that's 1 full month of less time in Destiny.
Are you joining me for Lightfall like you said you might?
No.
I don't know why I ever trust you.
No, I'm not doing that thing I said I'd do.
Tell me about ASAP Rocky and his car.
Need for Speed Unbound, man. The biggest surprise of the year for me. Number 5. Another very recent game. This game came out December 2nd. I played it on, I think, November 29th was the early access. And this game had all the red flags, all the signs of being a bad video game. And it ended up being the best Need for Speed in over 10 years and the most competent arcade racer that I've played since... I don't even know. Most I've enjoyed Need for Speed personally at this point, honestly, now that I've rolled credits and everything, maybe ever. Like, it sits with me so well. If you like racing games, if you like arcadey racers specifically, this is just the fucking game for you. It hits it perfectly. It is a perfect street racing game. It's a open world. It has cop chases. It has customization. It doesn't try to do too much for what it is. I can't sing its praises enough, even with its interesting graphical style, which may look obtuse at first, but I promise fits the game perfectly. You can even turn it off if you so desire. But just really awesome. Soundtrack to fucking die for if you like rap music or even like some weird punk rock remix type stuff. Just a fun game. Another really tight little package. It's not the biggest or most time-consuming racing game ever. I played it on EA Play. You could get this whole game for $15 for a month, played on your platform of choice, and then wash your hands of it.
I did some investigation, and unless it's changed, you can't do that on PlayStation for some reason.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, because that's how I was going to play it. But I couldn't do it.
It's an EA game, so it'll be $25 in a month.
Yeah. So
and at that point, once it's $25, I recommend picking it up for that price. $70 is a tall order, no doubt. And it's next gen only, and it shows too. It is a very pretty game. It's got a great sense of speed. It does things with the story you wouldn't expect it to do that really hit home. Again, and as is the case with all of these games, we've talked about these games in depth over the past months. So if you go through the catalog of our podcast and you look for the one with Need for Speed in it and you want more information, if you want to hear more about the Callisto Protocol, go find that episode of GameList and listen to Colin and I talk about it for 15-20 minutes as opposed to 2 or 3 minutes here. But yeah, Need for Speed number 5 starting up this top half. Very, very strong. You guys know I like some racing games, and this was a really, really nice surprise to have. Loved it. Yeah. Your number 5 was Citizen Sleeper.
Dude, oh man, this game sits with me. This game is it's a new genre for me, I guess. I guess you could equate this with Disco Elysium a bit in the way that text is presented and choices are presented. But aside from that, it plays a lot different. This game is reminiscent of like a tabletop game where each day you have 5 dice rolls that are random, and you have to spend those dice rolls on what you do each day, whether that be eat, go to work, talk to people, make friends, whatever. So it really puts like weight in each of your actions. The setup for this game is you are a sleeper citizen or whatever. So a sleeper is this is like a dystopian space opera kind of, where you worked for this company, whatever, like as a slave pretty much, and this company created synthetic bodies that they would sell for people who were dying or whatnot, like stuff like that. So what your character did, which is all explained in the first 10 minutes of the game, so I wouldn't call this a spoiler, but what your character did is they transplanted they copied their consciousness onto one of these bodies and escaped with it. So you wake up on a ship on this like space station, and you're trying to live. You're trying to make a life, which you struggle in this game with the weight of, technically you're just a copy. Technically your body is back, your real body, your real self is back suffering somewhere, because you're just a copy of your consciousness. But also the body that you're inhabiting now, it is programmed to destroy itself if it doesn't maintain if it doesn't receive maintenance by the company that you stole it from. That's kind of like their failsafe to keep people from stealing them. So you're struggling to stay alive. You're struggling to make connections, to make friends, to find a place in the dystopian space station. It's all presented in text. It has beautiful music throughout the entire experience. Some of my favorite music this year. I spent 15 hours maybe with this game. And it's really a game that really tugs at your heartstrings once you get into it enough. There's so many different characters that you meet that have different struggles that you can really relate to modern day, even though it is a game about being in the space station. I cannot sing this game's praises enough. I enjoyed my time with it. They've been adding new content that I haven't gone back to yet. I think my plan now is kind of wait till it's on PlayStation and then platinum it all in one fell swoop. But man, I love this game, and I really wanted you to enjoy it as well. But I should have known.
You know better. What they say: if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say nothing. Listen. Here's what I'll do. I'll give you a formal apology, and I talked to the fellers about this as well. And I tried Citizen Sleeper. I got about 15 minutes in. Everything that Colin said about the not being a spoiler is not a spoiler, because I know what happens too. I just don't like to read my video games, man. I don't like Disco Elysium either. Like, it's just not my cup of tea. You're talking to the guy whose number 4 video game is Sonic Frontiers, baby. I can't. What a flawless transition from your number 5 being Citizen Sleeper to my number 4 being Sonic Frontiers.
To be fair, I have also not finished Disco Elysium, even with the voice acting, just because I have a hard time finding that world interesting.
Well, listen, I don't like rolling dice. I don't like text-based adventures. I even barely tolerate things like Mass Effect, where I have branching like dialogue paths. Like I'm like, blah, 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 let's fucking go.
So what you're saying is Pentiment is not for you either.
Pentiment is. I've played 5 minutes of Pentiment.
Real good.
I didn't like that either. But in talking to the fellers who are my streaming counterparts, they also were like, yeah, why did he recommend that to you? Does he know who you are? Like, that's just not a Jake game.
No, it definitely wasn't a recommendation. It was a bet where we were forced to play another game. So that's why I picked Citizen Sleepers, because I knew you would never touch it unless you were just forced to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried.
I could have recommended. I could have recommended like other games, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, I tried.
Actually, I don't think I could have recommended other games because I don't.
Well, let's get into fucking Sonic, another absolutely incredible surprise this year. God, did I have fucking fun playing Sonic, man. Sonic the Hedgehog is back. I'm gonna keep this so short and sweet because you guys know I'm biased at this point. I talk about Sonic for 15 to 25 minutes on like 2 podcasts ago, and this is all that I wanted and more. It's a return to form while adding something new. It's the best that Sonic has felt in a long time. My thoughts going into it when everyone was naysaying, I always said the same thing. I said, I think that the through line on this game is going to be, it's pretty good. It's not perfect. It's got some glaring flaws, but it's the best 3D Sonic game that we've had in a very, very long time. And it is exactly that. It is a promise for the future of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I feel like he's once again in fucking good hands. I adored Sonic Frontiers, and I thought about putting it higher than it is, but I can't, in my right mind, if I want to be ever taken seriously as like a video game journalist or whatever you may call what we do here as far as in the professional video game sphere, I know that I can't rank Sonic Frontiers higher than the games that come ahead of it in spots 3, 2, and 1 for me. However, it did not stop me from having maybe the most fun that I've had all year playing Sonic Frontiers. Full playthrough of Sonic Frontiers is up on my YouTube page as well. I streamed the entirety of that game, and I regretted none of it. I can't wait for DLC. I can't wait for the absolute legendary sequel that is sure to come after the success of this game. Sonic Frontiers is 100% like... I understand how batshit crazy it is, but I speak Sonic Frontiers in the same breath that I speak my top 3. And you'll see what those 3 are. You can probably already guess them. Which I know is batshit insane, but I love it. We like what we like. Some of us like Citizen Sleeper, some of us like Sonic Frontiers. Let's talk about your number 4 game, a much more respectable pick to the general populace, I guess. Horizon Forbidden West. Unless you have something to add to Sonic, which I can't imagine you do.
I have nothing to add to Sonic.
I know.
Horizon Forbidden West. I'll keep it short. This game has suffered from its release window, which Horizon always does. And it suffered from... How do you word this? So Horizon Forbidden West is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. It has one of the most beautiful... It has one of the most beautiful worlds. The environment is just meticulously crafted, and it is beautiful at every turn. Like I don't take photo mode pictures, but this game I did, and I took a ton of them. And at times they look photo real. This game manages to do the impossible in pulling off a sequel that is better in every single way than the first game. I cannot think of a single way that the first game beats this one. The combat's more fun. It's prettier. It's got a more interesting environment. There's more varied environments. I just adore this game. Somehow it falls into like obscurity with people. Like people just kind of forget about this game, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what the game does to be forgotten. But I just all over the industry, I hear people.
I can answer it if you want to, but I know we're trying to keep things positive. This is actually I did my diligence on this one. I went and I played 3 hours of Horizon, and I think that it just does everything. It's what Horizon is it's just a jack of all trades and a master of none. It does a lot of like super interesting things. Like the story is almost there. The graphics are maybe the one thing that it's arguably like mastered, but that's also arguably the least important thing when you're talking about a complete package. But the story, the characters, the gameplay, the like mission variety, like everything that I was doing just felt like it was just a notch short of being memorable in any way. It all just felt like a cozy iteration of something that I've done in another video game, and that other game has done it better. And I think that unfortunately the rap that it gets is that, oh, the time frame is just so rough because it keeps on getting released against like games that are like it but better. The long and short of it is just not as good as those games.
See, I think this
is tough.
I think this stands in a completely separate arena than Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild. Like this appeals more to the Far Cry, Assassin's Creed type genre.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know why it gets forgotten about so often. I mean, I guess it doesn't hit for other people as much.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like sci-fi crap, like just weird sci-fi stuff. And this game goes crazy on it. The further you get into it, the crazier it goes on the sci-fi stuff. And the world, like the lore of this world is amazing. At the end, they teased the third game. Naturally, yep. No spoilers. They teased the third game, and I cannot wait to see where the story goes. It's just bonkers things happen.
Yeah, I know I probably sounded harsh on it, and I am trying to not be negative, because playing it for the few hours that I did and checking it out for these GOTY talks specifically, I actually have a better taste in my mouth than I did for it initially. I know it's not a game for me, but I appreciate it much more than when I first started it. And
did you play the first one?
I did. I played it for like 6 or 7 hours.
Oh, but you didn't beat it.
Yeah, I got to the same city that I quit in this time.
Oh. Dude, you didn't even make it to the actual open world.
Well, I did. I started skipping cutscenes and stuff.
Oh, God.
I made it down the big lift and then to the open world, and I said, all right, we're good.
Oh, see, that's you're just barely there.
Yeah. Just, not my exact jam. But also, it is, even with Elden Ring in the picture and God of War Ragnarok in the picture, it's this game that is the best looking game that's available today.
Oh, absolutely.
Today. This is the best looking video game that exists
ever made.
Yeah.
I lots of this game depends on you getting immersed in the world, going hunting for things, playing with like the mechanics and whatnot, setting traps, just trying to like outsmart the dinosaurs and whatnot. I'm a huge fan of it. If you can't tell, I've actually got the Regala edition elephant right there, way back in the back. And then I've got a giant Thunderjaw up there as well.
I got a Keyblade.
Keyblade. I love this game, and I wish it could just hit the mark that it's shooting for. It deserves more recognition, but most games do.
All right, we're about to get to some weird shit, man. Pacing wise, as far as explaining where we're at, I think the right way to do this is as follows. So hear me out. Why don't you do your... Ooh, is there a clean way to do this?
I do my three.
We can do this pretty clean. Okay,
we both pair those.
I want you to do your number 3. I know that you just did your number 4, but back to back, you go for your number 3.
I know what you're talking about. I got you.
So your number 3 is A Plague Tale Requiem.
You can go ahead and get your comment about the art out of the way. It's
no negativity. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to pick that up off the shelf.
Oh yeah, shut up.
I thank you for accepting my moderate negativity today.
This
and it's Requiem. That's the one that I pulled the trailer for, right?
Yes, Requiem, not Innocence. This game is a direct sequel to 2019's A Plague Tale Innocence, which was one of my favorite games of that year. Actually, I don't think I played it that year. I think I waited till the next year. This is just a very intimate story between a family that has some very supernatural things going on, kind of. Lots of plague stuff. You visit lots of very pretty environments in this game. It's a very like heart-wrenching story. It's another just like Horizon Forbidden West was a great sequel that improved on the previous game in every way. This is another sequel that improves on the previous game. This game made me feel emotions, which is hard to do for a game or for anything really. And I loved it. I don't want to say too much about it because there's lots of spoiler territory with this game.
Yeah.
And it's an experience that you should just stick yourself in a dark room and play. This is like, you know, if Sonic Frontiers is a 10 for Jake, this is my 10. This is, you know,
reasonable.
It's a very good game. And the team that worked on it is Asobo Studios. They made Flight Simulator. Kind of crazy they can pull off this and Flight Simulator. That one team bizarre. Making these super different things. But hey, you know, it's a great game. Please go play it. It's very good.
A good pick. I'm not gonna sit here and say. So let's get into some overlap.
It did get nominated for Game of the Year, so it has to be at least good for that, you know?
Yeah. Stray, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a behemoth. My number 3 game of the year and your number 2 game of the year are one and the same. Elden Ring, baby. One of the fucking greats. Here's the thing. My top 3 games, I know that I've been very passionate about what my number 1 game is and how I value it over. But if I'm being 100% honest, my top 3 are interchangeable. It depends on the moment in which I think of that game the most favorable. I think when I think back on it, I will stand by my number 1 pick, but I adore Elden Ring, and I went back to Elden Ring recently, about 2 weeks ago, and I checked it out again, and I stand by my fucking thoughts on it. It is one of the best video games ever created. It is a piece of fucking art, and it is so fun. It's so out of my wheelhouse. You remember my Soulsborne history before Elden Ring?
None.
Yeah, non-existent.
Jedi Fallen Order, and that's about it?
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order, which I played on story mode, and I played Bloodborne that kicked my ass, and I hated it. And I played Dark Souls 3 to prepare for this. I was like, can I get hyped for Elden Ring? And I sort of saw the light on Dark Souls 3 on my second try, and I was like, okay, let's just buy Elden Ring and see how it goes.
Yeah, you made it through Vort, and then
I beat Vort, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Fuck.
I was there.
And I am so glad that I bought in. Elden Ring is so special, dude. It's fucking awesome.
I was also there for most of your Elden Ring experience.
Yeah, that was a shared experience.
Yeah, we played a lot of that together. I think this game is amazing. I said it in the past that when this game came out, it was a 10. So naturally, in the future, it could only go down from there, right?
Yeah, we are officially in 10 territory.
Yeah, absolutely.
None of these games are not 10s, not perfect video games in their own way.
I mean, you're number 1, I could argue, but
10. Maybe you're right. It could be an 11.
When this game came out, we were like, this is a 10, right? And my thought was, if it's 10 now, it can only go down from here as we look back upon it. I have tried to keep that frame of reference as I look back, and I will say, I adore this game. It is a 10, but looking back, if I had to pick Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3, I think I'd pick Dark Souls 3.
No shit.
Yeah.
I think I would be hard pressed, even with the little that I've played of Dark Souls 3, to enjoy Dark Souls 3 the way that I enjoy Elden Ring, just because of how massive it is and how much like the open world and the platforming meant to me in Elden Ring. Like the sense of discovery that I got from that game is a lot of what pushed it through. And I don't think I would have been as hyped, and I still don't really. I've tried to go back and play Dark Souls since beating and rolling credits on Elden Ring. And same deal, I am not immersed in the same way. It's the real third-person RPG elements that sell it for me in this open world. It's the exploration. It's the idea that I'm in some weird pocket of this world that some strange thing is happening in all the time. It is just unlike any other game. It's tough to talk about, man, because there's what can be said about this game that hasn't already been said at this point. It is massive. It is mind-boggling, the scale. And I think the reason that it ranks so high is like, it's like we were talking about, like if I hadn't played like Pokemon Scarlet or Violet or something like that, we were talking about Arceus, like you can't take back that first experience that you have with Elden Ring, and the way that that game unfolds its fucking layers to you, and you start to find more and more crazy places to go and things to see, and you think you've seen it all, and you realize that there's more and more and more and more. It just never stops giving. Truly one of the most remarkable gaming experiences I've ever had in my life.
This is one of the best evolutions of the formula that they've ever pulled off. Like I said, I love Dark Souls 3. I think I had a better time with that just because I prefer a more linear, like curated experience. And because Elden Ring is so big, I'm not big on the like, oh, I discovered so much, you know. But no, I totally understand that. I loved Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about this game. It's still a 10 to me.
This is your number 2 game of the year. It's only my number 3.
It's my literally. So
you don't have to worry about not doing it a disservice.
Yeah, it is one of those games. Is like when I look back, I have to make sure that like I don't knock it down because it was a perfect game and it still is.
Yeah.
It's a game that I'm never going to go back to though. I don't think, unless they add.
It's
like
a game that I will
huge.
100% will go back to, and I can't wait to. Similar to like some other games where I just need to put distance between myself and that game. I want to forget where things are. I want to forget experiences that I had and experience them again. And the only way to do that is through time.
See, but I think the difference between us there is like, I do everything in the game when I'm playing it. I got the platinum in this game. I did everything. I saw everything.
Yeah, but you do that for a ton of games. You think in 20 years you won't remember? I mean, it's tough because you haven't been playing games for 20 years, so you don't have that same frame of reference.
Yeah, but in 20 years,
to Ocarina of Time after.
In 20 years, there will be better games to go back to. There will be better games for me to play.
Sweet like, young boy.
I go back to very few games. I just don't do it.
Give it time.
I play Sly Cooper.
You'll look back. You'll look back upon a time of your life once past, and you'll say to yourself, "Simpler times. I loved that game. Let's go check it out again. It'll happen. It happens to us all."
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go back and do like a full playthrough. I might pull a game up for like an hour.
All right.
Like I pulled Spider-Man 2018 up for like an hour and just swing around.
Twitch.tv/Kaulin_ in 2053. For the full playthrough of Elden Ring.
Yeah, I just
fresh off just going back to check out the original while he's playing Elden Ring 5. Like he just wants to check it out.
Well, the thing is, if I go back to play any Souls game, I'm gonna go back to play Dark Souls 3.
All right, fine. You have no nostalgia bone. Something's wrong.
I do think that's fair. I do think this game's evolution of the magic system is the best thing it's done because magic was a pain in the butt in Dark Souls.
No frame of reference. But I do want you to take it away for this one because this is my number 2 game of the year, but it's your game of the year for 2022.
Oh. Hold on. You keep talking. Keep stalling.
Well, I can't keep stalling. I want you to take it away. Talk about your number 1 game. You don't want me to talk about my number 2 game.
No. Keep stalling.
God of War Ragnarok for all of you listening and watching at home. It's God of War Ragnarok. It is a perfect story game. It is as perfect as it gets. And I really struggled with, is it this or Elden Ring to put at number 2? And I ended up landing on this. And I know what you guys are all thinking. It's recency bias. No, it's just liking different things in video games. What are you doing? Could you have just told me to do that professionally from my end? They're getting a choppy version. All right, stop. Hit stop and talk about God of War. I'll splice in the fucking music.
God of War is the best game of the year. Easy peasy, no questions asked. I had more fun with this game than any other game this year. I had tears growing in my eyes at multiple points in this game. Seeing Atreus and Kratos grow as a pair was something very touching to me. Their father-son relationship is very similar to my own, in fact, at times. My father and I don't always talk as that much. So seeing how Atreus and Kratos communicate with the lack of words at times, I really felt. This game incorporated so much like lore of Norse mythology that I find so fascinating. On top of it just being fun, man. Everything is so fun about this game. I can't hear the music. I'm cut off from the music. That's why I played it.
Just know that it matches up so well, and it's like clippable fucking content for the internet.
Okay, well, perfect. I don't know. This game touched me in every aspect, from the parts where you're playing as Atreus, spoiler alert, to the very end.
I gotta edit that out. I think I gotta. No, you know what? I don't have to edit that out.
That's in like the first couple hours.
Yeah. It's not in the embargo. This has been an argument on other podcasts that I've listened to as well. Yeah. Game's been out for a month. You had your opportunity.
If
you haven't gotten 3 hours into God of War Ragnarok, the 48-hour rule is over.
Yes. Yes, but
I love it, man. I cried twice in this fucking video game, and I don't know. I'm not a person that's like ashamed to say that I fucking cry in emotional things, because it is just so well put together. Like, it is not the only game. That's not even close to true. But it is. I don't know. It makes a case for it's different in what it does. There are some things that only games can pull off, and it could be argued that the things that make me cry in this game could be pulled off in a TV show or a movie as well. But the fact that it does them as well, if not better, than TV and movies is just immaculate to me. It is 25 hours of sublime fucking storytelling, and it never lets up. It keeps on delivering and gives you fucking moments and moments, and the points in which I got emotional were not exclusively at the finale. It was mid-game. It was events that transpired that would just hit home or were just conveyed so perfectly. It was just ridiculously impressive. And that's not even talking about, like you were saying, playing as Atreus, the different gameplay mechanics that appear throughout the game, or your companions and the items that you use. It is just so fucking cool. It's a perfect video game, man. It's a perfect video game.
You know, just watching the trailer that you're playing right now, just seeing like the moments of dialogue where the tension is high between Kratos and Atreus, and this entire game, Kratos' main goal has been to protect Atreus. That's really all he's worried about. And just seeing the performance in this game, and this game is the best performance in any game, the best performance capture. Like, Man Engaged did an amazing job in Immortality, but I have to kind of put that aside because it is a live action type thing. The mixture between performance capture of Christopher Judge and Sonny, I don't even know how to say his last name. I always struggle with it. Soljic. Okay, sorry, Sonny. The mixture between their performance, yeah, I know, right? Between their performance and the tech that goes into putting that onto their character in game, I don't know, man. This game does something. Every moment of dialogue, I am like sucked in, from rowing around on the lake when they're telling stories or in cutscenes, everything. And the freaking height of set pieces in this game, just beautiful. It feels like, some people have called it a Marvel movie, and I think when they say that, a lot of times they mean it in a bad way. But if I call this a Marvel movie, it's in a good way, because it does feel so epic and such a high production value. This game feels like one of the most expensive games ever made, for good reason.
Yeah,
I love it.
One of the greats. It surpasses its predecessor, and I recommend it to everybody. But play the first one first.
Absolutely, you have to play 2018 before playing this one.
It's a sequel. It's You get more out of The Dark Knight if you've seen Batman Begins. But it doesn't keep The Dark Knight from being a better movie than its predecessor. That kind of thing. You've seen those movies, right?
Yeah, no, I have. I think to play this one, you have to play God of War 2018.
No, I don't think so. I think you could make it happen, but you would lose some stuff.
Did you watch the story recap at the beginning of the game?
Yeah.
It sucked. That was the worst story recap I've ever seen.
I mean, it gets the beat across.
You got to play 2018.
Anyway, God of War Ragnarok slaps. Anything you need to say about your game of the year?
Go play it. I got the platinum on it. I got the platinum on God of War, Elden Ring, A Plague Tale, Horizon Forbidden West, Destiny 2, Callisto Protocol, Stray, and Cult of the Lamb.
Whoa.
This year, so.
Save some pussy for the rest of us.
I know, right? Crazy.
All right. Game of the year time. You ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it for me? I'm gonna like pull out my pillow real quick so I can take a nap while this is going on.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the best RPG that I have played since 2017's first wholly original RPG that I've played. I think I got to knock points off of 7 Remake because it's built off of the basis of Final Fantasy 7. I don't know, it's a tough call, but it is in my all-time favorite RPGs. It is like Chrono Trigger, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Final Fantasy 10, and Dragon Quest 11 are like my top 5, I don't know, video games of all time. We're talking about a perfect JRPG is what we're talking about here. It is immaculate. It is anime bullshit. It is extremely involved. It is layered systems on top of systems on top of systems. It is a minimum 60-hour experience. This is not for the faint of heart, but if it checks any of the boxes that are checked for you as a gamer, it is the right video game to play. It made me cry multiple times, and I never thought a game like this would do that, but it did. I did not play Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or 2 or Xenosaga or even Xenogears. This is my first foray into this, and it didn't stop it from being magnificent to me. It is, make no mistake about it, a perfect JRPG. There is so much going for it. There are things that this game does better than any other JRPG that's ever existed. Specifically, we'll talk about some of them when we get to our best thing category, perhaps. But the characters in this are what really compel me. If I just give a really quick pitch, it has a excellent sci-fi storyline of all of these characters in this game are born soldiers who only have 10 years to live. That is all thrown into madness when they meet an old person, essentially. And they go, what's this fucker with facial hair doing in our world? Is this what is getting old? Everybody else thought that the world ended after their 10 years of existence. And the places that the story goes, I could tell you right now and spoil the whole game, and you wouldn't believe me. It's so wild. It's so wild. And I just wish that more people would get to experience it, because I kid you not. Again, this is I am a person that uses hyperbole too often, so I understand that it creates a bit of a boy who cried wolf scenario. When every game is the best game they've ever played, it's tough to take it at face value when it's said time and time again. This might be my favorite JRPG, and it is my favorite video game story ever. It's my favorite video game story ever. It means the fucking world to me. And the fact that this game is being supported with future DLC means that it's possible that this story has even more to tell, and that just gets me even more fucking excited.
You're telling me
blew my mind.
You like this better than Kingdom Hearts?
I like the story of this game more than Kingdom Hearts.
More than Final Fantasy VII.
I like the story of this individual game more than any individual story.
Yeah, backtrack it.
Yeah, I like it more than Final Fantasy VII. I like it more than
You like
Kingdom
this
Hearts.
more than The Last of Us.
Yeah, easy.
You
Last
like this
of Us.
more than The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh my god. Yeah. yeah, dude, I love it. I'm watching right now, we're playing B-roll of like the characters and stuff like that, and I want to fucking cry because how much I like all 6 of them. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. It is so good, and I can't wait for another year or 2 to go by so I can play it all again, and so I can play it all again the way that you play video games, because I went through this in about 60 hours and I wish it took me 160. I wish I spent more time. I wish I exhausted every dialogue box, because I didn't realize I would like this game as much as I did until it was almost over. So fucking good. So good.
Yeah.
Game of the year, baby. Game of the year.
Your game of the year. Your game of the year.
Yeah. My game of the year.
Your game of the year.
True. All right. That does it. So you chose God of War Ragnarok, and I chose Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah. Congratulations on a good year of gaming, my dude.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
I'm ready.
What do you say we talk about? Actually, wait. Let's break this thing down. Let's recap. We got the nice visual on screen here, and let's talk about it in a more absorbable form. Now that we have all of this laid out in front of us, we can take a peek at our top 10. I'll read mine off from 10 to 1. Shredder's Revenge, Splatoon 3, Stray, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Tinykin, Need for Speed Unbound, Sonic Frontiers, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Xenoblade 3. Kaulin, take them away.
Mine from 10 to 1 is Cult of the Lamb, Immortality, Stray, The Callisto Protocol, Destiny 2, Citizen Sleeper, Horizon Forbidden West, A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, and God of War Ragnarok.
Fuck yeah, dude. What a year for video games.
Great year.
What a year for video games. If I had to, like I was saying, if I had to insert my game of the year here from last year, I think that's a really interesting conversation to have, because mine pops up right above Sonic. So like my number, I guess Ratchet would be number 4 for me, and then Halo would be like number 9 or 10.
Yeah, Returnal
so
would
you
be
put Returnal over Elden Ring,
number
is
2.
what you were implying earlier.
Yes, correct.
That's wild.
The Forgotten City would be right above Citizen Sleeper.
Really?
Maybe even above Horizon Forbidden West.
Interesting. I'm surprised to hear that.
The Forgotten City is one of the best games I've ever played.
Huh.
It's great. It's like a great detective game. I've been really into kind of like detective games recently.
Yeah. Where does Deathloop fall for you?
Deathloop would probably be around the Callisto Protocol, maybe right above, right below.
Yeah, I think Before Your Eyes would probably actually come in just under, like, I think they'll probably take my number 10 spot for me, and then after that everything is out. So it would knock like Stray and Splatoon out of the top 10 to make room for Halo and
I think I would put Guardians of the Galaxy above Cult of the Lamb. And
you think like in 10 years we're gonna have banners of our game of the years from years past, and we'll be talking about God of War Ragnarok and
that'd be great.
I think it'll happen.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I have. Hold on, I'm pretty sure if I look on my Twitter, I have tweeted my old like top 10 game of the year.
I actually have my game of the year in a running top thing. Yeah, I have everything from 1997 on. You want to hear mine?
Sure.
In 2020 was 7 Remake. In 2019, retroactively, we're getting into spoilers. Outer Wilds. 2018 would have been God of War. 2017 Breath of the Wild. 2016 Final Fantasy 15. I know. 2015 Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward. 2014 Super Smash Brothers. 13 BioShock Infinite. 12 Journey. 11 Rayman Origins. 10 Mass Effect 2. 2009 Uncharted 2. 2008 Call of Duty World at War. Zombies, man. 2007 Rock Band. 2006 Wii Sports. 2005 Kingdom Hearts 2. 2004 Halo 2. 2003 Ratchet & Clank Going Commando. 2002 Warcraft 3. 2001 Final Fantasy 10. 2000 Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. 99 Sonic Adventure. 98 Ocarina of Time, and 97 Mario Kart 64. 96 Pokemon Red and Blue.
I can only find one. I have my top 10 games of 2020.
Let's hear it.
Number 1, Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
Number 2, Cyberpunk 2077. This
Crazy.
was tweeted December 27th, so right after it released in a poor state. But I got the platinum already at this point.
So now in its current state, do you like it more than Tsushima?
I haven't played it since it was repaired.
That's an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Number 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number 4, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 5, Doom Eternal. Number 6, Risk of Rain 2. Number 7, Astro's Playroom. Number 8, Bugsnax. Number 9, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then number 10, Amnesia Rebirth, which I never even finished. So I don't know why that's on there. But,
you
know.
All right.
Yeah, this is from 2 years ago. So
listen, well, we have the opportunity. We're talking about some like superlative game of the year stuff. We have, for the first time ever on GameList, we got a little bit of our community. Some of the people that listen and watch GameList hooked us up with some of their game of the year stuff. I just want to shout out the few people that took their opportunity to let us know. You could have done this in YouTube comments. We solicited it through our Twitch channel and our Discords. I'm Jake Twitchin' everywhere. He's Kaulin _ everywhere. It's, you know, to be honest, like, our listeners are you, anonymous person who doesn't interact with us outside of it, and then a lot of people from like our Twitch and YouTube audience. So the people that wrote in, I had Andrew on Carts, who had a lot of overlap with us, but also mentioned Roller Drome, Endoparasitic, which I'm not sure on, Neon White, which is a pretty big miss for both of us, Trombone Champ, and his game of the year was Elden Ring. Then we had Lemmy Ann, which had,
I don't think Neon White is a miss for me. That doesn't seem like a game that I would ever care about. I'm not a speed running person.
For me. Yeah, but it seems really cool. We'll get there. We're going to talk about our misses in a little bit. Lemmy Ann wrote in, and she mentioned a lot of overlap with us, but also Escape Academy. Dinkum, which is I hadn't heard of, and it's like it's like a Stardew Valley, My Time at Portia type of farming sim game. And then her game of the year was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And then Swanky Joinkers, who's on my stream all the time, one of the fellers from the titular fellers from Saturday Night with the Fellers, has an absolute weirdo list of Diablo Immortal, Potion Craft, Nobody Saves the World, Total War Warhammer 3, Peglin, Rogue Tower, Backpack Hero, Weird West, Citizen Sleeper. I know you like that.
Good game.
And then his game of the year, which was in early access but released officially in April of this year, was Dwarf Romantic, which is pretty
great
cool.
Game.
Yeah,
Dwarf Romantic's great.
Yep.
Yeah, his top 3. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, seems to hit, but really cool. Appreciate them taking the time to share their game list. And it's not too late if you're listening to this or you want to share it. We're always looking to talk about video games. Whether you pop into our streams, whether you post your game of the year list, your top 10, your top 3, what you enjoyed playing this year in our comments, nothing would tickle our fancy more. I assure you, I speak for both of us. Feel free to lay it on us at any time. What do you say we talk about some stinkers, bro? How's that transition?
Stinkers. You know, I think this year was pretty light on stinkers overall.
Yeah, your stinker makes me mad. Go ahead. What's your stinker of the year?
My stinker is Switch Sports.
That's so mean, bro.
Okay, well, I have an explanation for this.
Mm-hmm.
There's tennis, there's badminton, and there's volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much 3 of the exact same sports.
Volleyball is different, but I'll give it to you because volleyball sucks the most out of the 3 of them.
Yeah, they could have just put tennis and I would have been okay without the other 2. They should have replaced the other 2 with something good like boxing or baseball.
Weaker overall sports things. I think they got the 3 most important ones in.
They got the sword fighting, which is great.
That's not one of them. Tennis,
they got
bowling,
which
and
is
golf.
Great. Bowling felt way too easy on this one. Something about it feels so much easier than it did on the Wii.
I had a lot of trouble with bowling.
See, I was like knocking them down on this.
This is my honorable mentions for the record. I'm going to bat for Switch Sports.
Me and Allie played this like every day for like 2 weeks together, and it just grew stale so fast. It was rough. Like I played Wii Sports endlessly as a child.
Yeah,
enjoyed it, loved it.
My
but
game of the year, 2005.
Absolutely. I mean, it just got boring, and they didn't have golf in at launch.
Sounds like you're mad that you got older. No, I actually haven't played golf.
I mean, honestly, that's one of my other reasons. One reason was they had 3 of practically the same sport, and volleyball sucked. And then it's just not as fun as it was when I was a kid.
Yeah, so that'll happen.
I had my hopes up way too high for this game, and it was like. Also, I never even tried soccer because I don't want to strap something to my leg. I don't.
Soccer is really fun, dude. Even with like just what it has, like it's actually fucking cool.
I'll take your word on that.
That's pretty funny. Our stinkers last year, yours was Far Cry 6, and mine was Mario Golf Super Rush.
Dude,
which I stand by that.
That was
a stinker.
I have Far Cry 6 right beside me, where I was going to try to play it over like Christmas.
Didn't you know it was a stinker?
Well, I wanted to go back to it and try to play it, and I just never touched it.
Because it stinks. My stinker's Chocobo GP, man. They fumbled the bag so bad, and now within this same calendar year, this game is officially hit in shutdown mode, where they're no longer doing microtransactions. They were raked over the coals on release for nickel and diming people for characters and content, and having a really rough progression thing to the point of it just really... it could have just been a budget clone of Mario Kart with Final Fantasy characters, and it didn't have to be plagued the way that it was with its format.
Why does everyone ruin kart racers?
It seems exploitable. I think.
How hard is it to just put out a good kart racer and then put out other tracks for more money? Just give people more tracks. Stop making them pay for characters.
Everybody sees the success of Mario Kart and thinks that they can do it better, and they can't.
But they can't. It's not possible.
Crash gets close. Those Crash games get close.
I feel like that one Sonic game was pretty close.
Oh yeah, the Sonic games get close. They get close. And they're nice too. They don't have like crazy microtransactions. But yeah, Chocobo GP fucking sucks. And like original Chocobo racing, so dope. So fun.
Yeah.
So fucking fun. But yeah, they fucked it up. All right. Now we're going to take a peek at some accolades, dude. I'm excited to get into these with you. These are like random categories that we came up with over the year, things that we wanted to shout out, things that were of interest to us about particular games. You ready to get into them?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right. The first category is the best game that didn't come out this year. The best game that we played that didn't come out this year. You want me to go or you want to go?
You go first. I'm curious what you have, because we haven't shared these with each other. It should be
no. And these aren't gonna be long-winded. We won't go spend more than 2 minutes a piece just like going through these. Mine's The Outer Wilds. We talked about this at length. We recorded a spoil list for it. I am obsessed with this game. It's retroactively one of my favorite games of all time. Again, with the hyperbole, but Outer Wilds means a lot to me. It is a very cool game, and it's like we were saying about, I want to play this game again in 20 years. I think in 20 years, I will still remember the beats of Outer Wilds enough that I will just never be able to experience it for the first time again, and that makes me sad all day.
Interesting, yeah. For almost the exact same reasons, you could literally just cut out everything that you said and put it for mine. The best game that didn't come out this year,
The Outer Wilds.
Last of Us Part 2.
Oh.
The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 would be my game of the year if it came out this year. It was
over
the most
God of
profound...
War?
Over God of War. It was the most profound experience I've had this year. The gritty combat and just everything about that game I was blown away by. I adored it. Also, finished The Last of Us Part 1. Got the platinum on it like a week ago.
Great game. Make your list.
Nope. Last of Us
you
Part 2
2
better.
More than one.
Absolutely. Every single bit of it.
All right. Best AA game. Mine we've talked about. Mine will be very quick. Tinykin. Like I said, this is a AA game that plays like a AAA game. This could have been, if you would have just taken this little picture of this guy and put like Waluigi in it, then Nintendo would have been like probably staring down the eyes of a fucking game of the year.
Yeah. My best AA game.
Oh, sure. We don't know. We're revealing these to each other for the first time. We didn't share these.
That's what I just said. That's what I said that like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, really? I was.
Yeah, and you were like, yeah, we're not gonna talk long about it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's my fault.
It's
tough, man. I got all these things I'm clicking behind the scenes.
I said, yeah, we don't know each other's.
All right, cool.
Okay. Anyways,
can I guess yours?
Yeah, guess it, please.
Is it the fucking Rat King?
No.
Rat Boy.
No.
Rat siblings.
Plague Tale?
Plague Tale.
No, that's not it.
Okay. All right.
It's actually Outer Wilds.
Oh, no shit. But wait, Outer Wilds didn't come out this year. You can't pick that.
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's the best AA game that I played this year.
All right, fine. I'll take it.
And best AA indie type thing.
It's a shout out. It's a shout out to one of the best games ever made, so I'll fucking take it.
Yeah, I had a great time with that game. Surprisingly, I hated it for most of it, and I liked it near the end. But
what was your best feature of the year?
My best feature was the flying mount in Horizon Forbidden West. You can actually tame one of the flying birds and fly around the world, and it's beautiful.
Nice. Is it like a paraglider, or can you?
No, you can fly like up and down and like side to side. Yeah,
that's pretty rad.
And you can like summon it in battle, and it'll just come in and grab you off the ground and flip you onto its back. Or you can like jump off of a cliff and call him in midair, and he'll swoop under you and catch you.
Rad, dude.
Yeah,
that actually sounds really cool. That's the most appealing thing I've ever heard about Horizon.
You don't get him until the mission before the last mission, and then it opens up like tons of the map that you couldn't explore before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My best feature is the class and party leveling system for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is one of the coolest, most unique things ever. The way that it works in this game is you start out, you have 6 characters that have 6 classes. These are the only characters you have. These are the only 6 classes that you have. And you level up these characters normally. However, you then get a 7th character, and that character is a new class, a 7th class. What happens is while your 6 party members, your static party members, fight alongside the 7th party member, they gain an affiliation bonus. If they fight along this character for long enough, then they will learn how to use this class for themselves. So theoretically, you could now equip the 7th class to all 6 of your main characters and have all 7 people doing the same class. The way this comes into play, though, is that once a character learns this, if you get now the 8th character that has an 8th new class and you put them in, then you're changing character 1 to the 7th class, character 2 to the 8th class, so on and so forth. What this creates is this endless loop, essentially. I think it's like 15 to 20 new classes and characters where they are all tied together. So what you end up doing is every time you meet a new character that's like looks a little different, or they're wearing a sweet outfit, or they're carrying a cool fucking gun blade or magic discs or something like that, you're like, this is my fucking guy, they're joining my party, I want to check this class out. You add them to your party, you gain the experience levels with that class that you can apply that class to your main characters, and you start mixing and matching all of these different classes together. It makes for such fucking fun experimenting with these combinations. When you have 7 party members at any time and you get to choose between 25-30 classes for all of these party members, it really is like a one-of-a-kind experience depending on how you build your team. And you can double up too. You could have 3 people all running one single class while you have variety from your other 4 characters. It's just very cool, and I can't explain how exciting it is to see this motherfucking badass wearing a blindfold carrying like a flame sword who comes in and joins your party, and you're like, fuck yeah, my homegirl is going to be rocking that blindfold and flame sword real soon. Just extravagant. Best feature.
Yeah. That does sound nice.
Best thing, which is very different than best feature. Kind of. What you got?
My best thing is the episode selection screen for Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. It has each of the 9 episodes in like a little like looped diorama. It's like an animated loop diorama. It plays to the theme song of that episode. Very cool. Each of them are very humorous and just cute little loops. Like if they sold a Lego set of just all 9 of those, I would buy it. And like this,
those loops would be good for like some sort of like lo-fi, like, you know how I play like little videos on my stream of like shit happening in the background, like those just like ambiently happening on like a break screen or something like that would be fucking perfect. Really cool. My best thing is 6-player co-op in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. Such an unexpected feature, like, for all of the hype for that game leading up to it.
You just called it a feature.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing. It's the best thing. Best featured thing. Anyway, the best thing, I guess they're interchangeable. Best thing is the classes in Xenoblade, and the best feature is 6-player co-op. But for all the hype of that game, everyone knew it was going to be 4-player online co-op, and then there was like the second trailer. They announced that not only was it the 4 turtles, but we were adding Master Splinter in April, and it was going to be 6 players. So really fucking exciting.
Any comments?
Any comments?
Any comments?
Best game to play in one day. I chose Stray, man. You already talked about that.
I changed mine.
Okay.
Which, I tried to avoid my GOTY list as much as possible, since these are like superlatives. But,
I do.
If it's GOTY, it's...
Yeah, fuck. I didn't do
Yeah, well, I tried to avoid as much as possible, but I had to give this one to Immortality. It's like a good 6-hour experience.
Really?
Yeah, it's not super long. It's just watching through stuff.
For some reason, I had that game pegged at like 12 hours.
No, it's not that long.
Cool.
Yeah, it's great. Stray's a close second, though.
Best game we didn't play. Mine is Stranger of Paradise. Yours is Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
No, mine is Weird West.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so this is a game that I've wanted to play. I just haven't really gotten around to it.
It's your shit, right?
It's an immersive sim by the guys that made the first Dishonored and stuff. They split off from Wolfeye Studios split off from Arcane.
Yeah.
Is the main barrier of entry to me of this game is just the isometric viewpoint. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I don't know. I hear amazing things about it. And the people at NoClip are crazy about it, especially Danny O'Dwyer.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Best media, multimedia, best media. This is your movie of the year, game of the year, TV show of the not TV show of the year, but not game of the year. That's a different thing. But TV show, movie, whatever your favorite thing was.
Yeah.
What you got?
Oh, I changed it again.
Okay.
House of the Dragon.
Hot
Absolutely.
D?
100,000% Hot D.
Not my favorite.
I was sitting here thinking, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. Because I was so excited for that, and I watched it every night as soon as it released. Beautiful. Wonderful. I cannot wait for season 2. I've been rewatching Game of Thrones just because I love
only like a year and a half
much.
left until we get to watch another season.
I know, it's crazy. It's going to be longer than that. It sucks, dude.
I went back and forth. I got like a bunch, man. But White Lotus season 2 is my favorite TV show of the year, and I think more people need to appreciate it. I watched season 1 as it was airing, and I loved that too.
Yeah.
Then it went on and just won a fuck ton of awards, and now season 2 has buzz and people are catching on, and it is just such a fun show to watch week to week. It's very, very good to watch as a binge as well. I recommend catching up. It's a really cool show.
I'm curious, if you had to pick a your favorite movie of the year, what would your favorite movie be?
Ooh, I didn't watch that many movies this year.
I didn't either.
I would have to do a quick Google of like 2022 movies. I really liked Glass Onion that I watched not long ago.
I'm watching that tonight.
Fuck, man, I didn't watch shit.
Gotta say, I think my favorite movie of the year would be Doctor Strange. I adore that
movie.
I
watched the Marvel movies. Doctor Strange was fucking rad.
Doctor Strange was great.
Yeah, that might be my pick too.
Sam Raimi just knocks it out of the park every time.
Yeah. I almost wrote down like a bunch of rap albums. Like, it was a good year for rap music, especially the tail end. We got 2 Drake albums, the Drake and 21 Savage collab, and Honestly Nevermind. I liked Honestly Nevermind. Some people aren't into it. It's a little bit more like, I don't know, dance tracky, but I've always liked that kind of stuff, like More Life back in the day. The new Metro Boomin album, if you like any combination of like Travis Scott, Young Thug, Don Toliver. Metro Boomin, want some more?
Metro Mono. I don't know.
Metro. Really, really dope. There's other stuff too. The new Nas album was fucking awesome. Just honestly, like a pretty impressive year. Kendrick dropped, like, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a good year to have rappers that aren't Kanye making good music. So
R.I.P. I miss the old good. Kanye.
I don't know. Best moment. Best moment for me. The first boss fight in Sonic Frontiers is fucking bananas, dude. It's bananas. It's the best moment. 10 more times. The most hype. Listen, if you're watching this and you haven't seen it or you don't know what it is, just go fast forward to like 4.5 hours, and just look for when Sonic turns yellow in my playthrough. Rewind it to 2 minutes before that and just watch the moments leading up to it and then fighting that fucking first boss. It is so sick. It's so sick. Good VOD.
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers playthrough part 1. Twitch.tv/JakeTwitchin. YouTube, whatever, wherever it is. What's yours?
I have beating Margit / Millennia in Elden Ring. Because Margit, we were both stuck on, and we helped each other. Is it
Margit or Margit? I hate Margit. I don't like that.
I don't know. Beats me. We'll say Margit. I'll say Margit just because you hate it.
All right, that works. That's on brand.
Yeah. Because we were working through him together for a while, and it took us a while to get there. And then that was kind of like
and we were doing everything back and forth too, where like there's like there's like a give and take to it. Like if we beat it on my game, then I go over to your game, and then I only have half of the fucking potions. I might have to build a little bit differently to actually be of assistance over there in your game. So we did a lot of those bosses like back and forth. That was so fun, dude.
It was great. And then the Millennia one, you never made it to that boss fight, which again, that gives you more of a reason to go back to Elden Ring than me, because I beat the hardest boss in the game, and it took me less time than beating Margit just because I was good at the game by that point.
Yeah.
Millennia is definitely the hardest boss in any Elder Scrolls game. Elder Scrolls. Why do I keep saying Elder Scrolls? In any FromSoft game ever. Cool. But it was just a very pleasing, very like technical fight that you get rewarded for understanding how to combat her. It's very great. Makes sense. Good. Yeah.
Best screenshots or best game to take screenshots in. I am not a screenshot person, dude. At all. At all.
I'm not. I made this just because I wanted to talk about how beautiful Horizon Forbidden West is.
Well, I'm glad you did, because this year I went and I looked at my screenshots for Xbox, I looked at my screenshots for PlayStation, and I looked at my screenshots for Switch. And what I'll tell you is I accidentally pressed the screenshot button on Switch a lot. But also on one single occasion on PlayStation and one single occasion on Switch, I did take 2 screenshots this year. The first one was from sometime in the last 30 minutes of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then the moment that probably most people screenshotted in God of War Ragnarok, I also screenshotted. There's a moment in that game, no spoilers, that is just begging you to press the screenshot button. Think about like
I'm just thinking about Sif.
No, like because she's a babe. You mean that? No,
she's
that's
not
what. So this girl walks in. No, that's not the case. No, it's like a badass moment where things almost like freeze frame. Like the game is begging you in this moment to take a screenshot. It's from like I want to say like 3 hours before the game is over.
Are you thinking
it's a fucking poster moment, dude?
Similar to my lighting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a good
it
one.
reminds me of like, it's basically a certain character or characters or a bunch of characters, I will say, to be extremely vague. And you ever seen like Smash Brothers where it'll be like Ken enters the arena and then Ken comes in and does like 2 punches and then an uppercut, and then the whole thing kind of like freeze frames and like the Ken joins the battle. It's that moment for a situation basically.
That was really
and
cool.
It fucking delivers. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Good category.
That was great.
That was good addition. Most anticipated game, and I think I said at the top of the show most anticipated for 2023, but that's a tough thing to do. Just what game, if tomorrow you could have a game plopped on your fucking doorstep, but it has to have been at least vaguely announced already, what game?
I have 2. I put a slash just because
I'll take 2. I'll do 2.
Starfield.
Oh yeah.
Or Spider-Man 2.
Good picks. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is number 2 if I'm getting 2 options, but what I wrote down here is Kingdom Hearts 4.
I'm surprised you didn't do Final Fantasy 16.
I am not as excited as I am for either of those other 2 games.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm a fucking creature of habit, dude. Nostalgia. You're gonna get there.
Fair.
You're 22, 3.
The only nostalgia.
Docs your age.
Oh.
22, 3.
I'm 23 in 11 days.
I'm 22 and 3/4.
I'm 23 in 263 days. The only thing I have nostalgia for.
You'll get there, dude. Talk to me when you're like 28. All of a sudden, all that's old is new again. I promise.
Maybe.
Maybe. Next category is the best game this year that you didn't beat.
Oh. You want to go first on this one?
Yeah, definitely. Mine is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I know enough about this game to know that I'm like loving it. It almost made my game of the year list without having beat it. I am 6 worlds into it. I thought this game was going to be over twice already, and it's still not. It is wild how much this game has to offer, and I fucking adore it. Like, it is so much fun to play, and it is such a pristine 3D platformer. It would have made my list if Tinykin didn't exist. What happened was Tinykin kind of stole its thunder from me as far as like I want to explore a 3D environment.
Okay.
Because of that, I not only fell off on playing it, but it also started to slip further down my list. It happens.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have Pentiment. I'm currently playing Pentiment. I literally just streamed it like an hour before we started recording this. Bless you.
Thanks, man. I muted. You didn't have to say bless you. Only the video viewers would have known. That would have been our little secret.
Oh well.
You can't see that. For you, I didn't mute it. For the recording, I muted it. It's different mutes.
I can't.
I don't have a hardware mute. I only have a software mute.
He sneezed, guys. So everybody say bless you in the comments.
Jeez, embarrassing. Embarrassing much?
It's okay. It's allergy season.
Is it though?
No, I don't know. Kind of. It's middle of winter.
You're in the fucking medical field. You tell me.
Anyways, Pentiment is a wonderful. Yes, it's a wonderful little like 14th century. I don't really know if it's 14th century, but it's a little like old timey murder mystery game that I'm just having a wonderful time with. I'm surprised at how much I love this game, and I'm currently playing it. It would have probably appeared in my game of the year list had I completed it.
Sure.
But I don't feel comfortable putting something I haven't finished on my game of the year list.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So good. Please support Obsidian. It's such a good game.
2 of these little guys left. The best platinum trophy. I'm interested to hear what you got. I only got one, so it's my favorite. It's Tinykin. What was your favorite? You platinumed 9 out of your 10 GOTYs, and I'm assuming a dozen more than that.
Yeah, I got 23 platinums this year. I actually have to just go with God of War Ragnarok.
No.
Yeah, it was.
What makes it a good platinum?
A good platinum is a game that encourages you to see more past the credits, but it doesn't force you into hating the game by the end. Like it encourages you to do more and to see the majority, if not all, of the game, but it doesn't force you to do stupid, repetitive
like
things.
A really good, like, concise answer, like an advertisement. It should be like clipped and put on the Sony website.
That's how most platinums should be, but some platinums are like win 600 multiplayer games with a 4-point lead exactly. Just like stupid stuff like that. It's like, that's pointless. But the God of War Ragnarok Platinum encouraged me to see the entirety of the game, do all the side quests, kill all the optional bosses, but it didn't force me into playing the game longer than I wanted to. So
very cool. The game we need an excuse to talk about. I chose Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion. Crisis Core Reunion Final Fantasy 7, because I believe.
That's kind of funny. Because I chose Marvel Midnight Suns. Both similar release windows.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't make my game of the year list. I'm still not finished it. I've only played it for a few hours, if I'm being honest. I played the game before. I love it. I adore it. What I want to stress, though, if this isn't a game that I have an excuse to talk about, is how much you should play it. Like, you should play it for two reasons. Number one, how important it is to the overarching story of Final Fantasy VII. And not just Final Fantasy VII, but Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Advent Children and Dirge of Cerberus. It is a integral part of Final Fantasy VII and its story. It's a prequel starring Zack, and it's also untouched. It is not edited in any way. It doesn't have any shenanigans like Final Fantasy VII Remake may or may not have. The other reason you should play it is it's a really nice remake, remaster. Like, it's somewhere in between remake and remaster. It plays way better than before. It is not only a nice coat of paint, and the game looks fantastic, especially on next-gen systems and even on Switch, but it also plays way better than it ever has. The changes that they made to the actual, like, battle system make it a far more fun action RPG that plays less like Final Fantasy VII and more like Final Fantasy VII Remake than you might expect. So, fine. You know me, I'll talk about Final Fantasy at any moment. Why Midnight Suns?
Well, I haven't finished it yet. I'm about 15 hours in. It has it's a very fun game. Like, the combat, very fun. Firaxis just does an amazing job with their tactical gameplay. It's very cool to see all of your, well, not all of your favorite Marvel characters interact, but a lot of your favorite Marvel characters interact, and a lot of characters that you don't see that often, like Blade and Ghost Rider. Some of the characters fall flat, of course, but I think I showed it on stream. You saw it. This game has a beautiful PS3, Xbox 360 vibe to it a lot of times. Captain America looks like a freak. Somebody in my chat said he looks like a gorilla.
He
some
looks
things
like he might just accidentally punch a hole in the wall at any moment. Like, he looks like a fucking muscle milk drinking nightmare man.
Yeah, some of the things in this game are very laughable, but in a good way. There are very few annoyances that I have of this game. The characters are very cliche, but kind of in an endearing way at times. I love to see all the interactions between characters, like Spider-Man and Wolverine. Like, how often do you get to see those guys interact in, like, we'd never seen them interact in live action.
Secret Wars 2025, maybe.
I hope. But yeah, it's just it is a, if you miss like the PS3 era superhero games, you should play it. I don't know how to explain it.
I feel like when February rolls around, we're going to probably dig into these games more, because these are both games, like, for the ones that we have excuse to talk about, that we're both going to be playing, I think, over the next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, I was like, have you seen the February release calendar? February is another crazy month this year.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, leading up...
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Just having time to play it.
For sure. Nice. That's the superlatives. Let's get into our honorable mentions. So I think we should just individually list these, because if we go back and forth, I think we'll ramble too hard on them. But I'll just go through and just give a quick spiel, and I'll let you do the same. So my honorable mentions, things that were probably on my GOTY list at one time and then maybe fell off or were just short, maybe like my top 20, if you will. Live Alive, perfect little RPG, Square Enix remake of a 1994 SNES classic that came out in between, like, Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, or the other way around. That era, but redone to a T. Really, really nice package. Nintendo exclusive as well. Putting the bill on that publishing. Disney Dreamlight Valley, I put over 150 hours into this year. I don't know why it didn't make my game of the year list, because it's arguable gutter trash game, but it's better than it should be. But it's, it's free to play nightmare that's going to rear its ugly head at some point in the near future, I'm sure.
You are a fan of gutter trash games.
Yeah. As Dusk Falls, which is, I have not finished yet. I'm on episode 5. I am playing episode 6 and finishing that game tonight. Such a fun video game for what I do. Maybe not a game that I would play alone ever, but playing it with my buddies, playing it on stream, and letting everybody have input into the things that are happening on screen, really, really fun. I have Lego Star Wars on there, Mario Strikers Battle League, Switch Sports, which we talked about, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which I gave a superlative to. Mario Kart 8 gets a little bump in there with that extra DLC. We're halfway through those waves of... I mean, the fact that I've got 24 brand new Mario Kart maps that I can play this year is such a little bonus. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Crisis Core Reunion, which we just talked about, and then what would arguably be my number 11 game of the year, if I had one more spot, I would have loved to give a shout out to Grounded. Like you were saying, give Obsidian their fucking due. These guys know how to make a video game, man. Don't sleep. Find some friends and check out Grounded. It is a top tier survival fucking video game. It is so fun. Loved it. What you got?
I've got Lego Star Wars, which was on my list up until Immortality knocked it off.
Sure.
Ghostwire Tokyo, The Last of Us Part 1, Modern Warfare 2, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. Sure. Awful name. Dying Light 2, The Quarry, Uncharted Legacy Collection, Crusader Kings 3, had a great time with that earlier in the year. Pentiment, which I felt comfortable at least putting it on honorable mention since I haven't finished yet. Triangle Strategy, also haven't finished. Man, Triangle Strategy is a funny game, dude. Gameplay is a 10 out of 10. Everything else is like a 2. And too much talking in that game. And then TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of those pop up similarly on like my misses. So games that
Sifu as well.
Okay, yeah. So Sifu is on my misses. We'll hop into those real quick. And these are just games that I feel like I would dig, but I just didn't get a chance to get around to. I still plan on checking out at some point in my life. Sifu, Stranger of Paradise, Neon White, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope is maybe the game that I'm most disappointed that I didn't get to spend some time with, and I think I will really soon. Escape Academy, which I think will be a fun stream game to do with like chat, and then Dragon Quest Treasures, which I am pretty sure I will be picking up to play when I go on vacation in a couple weeks here. So we'll see. You got any misses you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I've got some misses that I actually wanted to play, like Weird West and Norco. But then there are other misses that I don't ever see myself playing, like Sonic, Live Alive, Kirby, and the Pokemon games.
Sure. And then ones that you're definitely going to see too at some point, like Xenoblade 3.
Oh no, that's not even on the list.
It's so wild. I don't know why you're so against Xenoblade 3 with your.
I wasn't against it.
You made time for Tales of Arise for like 40 hours, and you won't play.
Yeah, I wasn't against it until you were like, "You gotta play Xenoblade 3."
I'm telling you, you do. All right.
I will say I listened to like a little spoiler on it. It sounds very interesting. But after listening to that spoiler, I definitely have no reason to ever play it because I just don't like the combat in the Xenoblade games. Not at all. It's just
so good. It grows on you. It sticks in my head. I can't wait. I want to just go slash a couple people right now.
It makes me want to vomit. How much is on screen at one time?
So good. So good. Game of the year. The last thing we have to do is just our diligence. Let's talk about what's happening in the next 30 days before our next podcast. Things will reset. Things will get back to normal, chat, listeners. Sorry. Listeners, viewers, people watching this. There is no live chat right now. But next month we'll record sometime around like February 1st through 4th, I would assume. We'll talk about all the games that we've been playing, whether they're new or old. We will talk about all the news that's happening in the video game industry. Obviously, it's been a really light month for news. Yuji Naka got indicted for
that's crazy. That's
trading.
So funny.
Fucking madness. And then we'll start building our 2023 Game of the Year list so that we can do another celebration like this at the end of next year. Super fun. But for right now, I need to talk to you guys about my New Year's resolution. We always start things for our incoming games the same way. And it's with the free games that are coming our way. And I have decided that I will no longer waste my breath or your time on the Xbox Live Games with Gold. So I am pleased. To retire the shit show at the Fuck Factory. This month's January PlayStation Plus games are Axiom Verge 2, Fallout 76, in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. If you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, play it. We're going to be talking all about that game and its sequel in the next couple months.
This month? That's a great month. Jedi Fallen Order is great. Fallout 76 has become a great game.
I'm not talking about these. I'm talking about the games with gold. These are great.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about January, just the PlayStation right now.
Oh yeah.
I can't even find a result for what's coming out with
it's
Xbox.
Trash. It's not worth it. Stop trying to waste our viewers' time.
No, I'm just curious myself.
All right. On January 13th, One Piece Odyssey, the third-person RPG, which honestly looks really fucking good. I don't know shit about One Piece, but I'm interested in both these games coming out on the 13th. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is the next-gen update version of the, I don't know, PlayStation 4, Xbox One game. Did you ever play this?
No.
Got good reviews. No, but I think I'm going to check it out. It's only going to be $20.
I think it's funny how you're a person who doesn't watch anime, but anytime an anime game comes out, you're like, "Oh, this looks good. I think I'm gonna try it out."
It does, man. And I'm anime adjacent. I want to be into anime.
I like anime, but
I
don't
watch
play
1,000 episodes
games.
of fucking One Piece. I can't obligate.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
All right. On January 19th, the Persona games fill out. So
does this look good, Jake? Does this
Persona
look good?
3 Portable? Yes, it looks good. I'm excited for these. Fuck. Oh, hold on a second. I didn't realize this, but the first 5 notable games that come out are all anime as fuck because it gets better. Persona 4 Golden comes out the same day. These are coming to Game Pass. They're coming to Switch. They're coming to PlayStation 4, 5, all platforms essentially. 4 Golden was out on Steam, but now 3 Portable will be as well. And then on January 20th is Fire Emblem Engage, baby. And I'm fucking buying it. Day one, all my waifus are in there. I gotta. Your wife was
I did see, I saw a trailer the other day. They were like playing trailers on TV for some reason on like Hallmark Channel. I was home and my parents were watching like Hallmark Christmas movies. And they were playing Fire Emblem trailers on there.
What?
Yeah. And I saw Byleth. So it's like, I kind of want Fire Emblem Engage now.
Yeah, dude. You should get it. I'm definitely getting it. I mean,
dude, I adored Fire Emblem Three Houses was like my second favorite game.
This is the sequel to Three Houses. Why would you not be interested in this?
I something about it is just not clicking in my brain. I don't know if it's all the colors are too much for me or if it's the setup or what. I don't know.
I think you should do
They need to get rid of the Pepsi hair.
I love the Pepsi hair. We love Pepsi in this family.
I hate the Pepsi hair.
I love it. That's January 20th. On the 20th as well is Monster Hunter Rise is going multi-platform. That's coming to Game Pass as well as all platforms that are not Switch and PC. So
yeah,
pretty exciting. I'm gonna check that out on Game Pass. That might be a fun game for myself and the fellers to play, probably off stream. But
did you play Monster Hunter World?
No, I played Monster Hunter World alone for like 2 hours, and it put this seed in my head of like, I think this would be really fun with like my gaming group offline. But it really hasn't had like a good opportunity. Like, we're big Game Pass gamers or like super deep discount gamers when it really comes down to it, if we're being honest. Like, what can we figure out for all 4 of us to just like low effort see if we're into? Because we hop on and fall off of games like it's going out of fucking style. We'll spend $40 on a game and play it once and be like, fuck this game. So now that it's on Game Pass, it gives us the opportunity. So I think it's kind of been in our heads for a while that we'll check this out. You have any experience with Monster Hunter? Yeah,
I played 15 hours of Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fell off. Wasn't my thing.
Let's talk a little bit about Forspoken. I mean, we both played the demo and we haven't talked about it on the show. Let's just real quick dig into that. Where'd you land on that demo? I
think the demo was not good, but I don't think the game is going to be not good. I think the game is going to be good, but I think the way they presented that demo was just the worst way to do it. It dumped you into the middle of the game with abilities that you have no knowledge of how to use. It gave you just a very, very, very short combat tutorial that was kind of bad. I was not a fan of the demo, but I do think the game will be good. And then also the dialogue was rough.
I don't mind the dialogue. Like, that's just like, there was dialogue like that in God of War too. Like, it doesn't offend me. It's like Avengers dialogue. Like, that shit happens all the time.
It normally
You're playing Midnight Suns, bro.
It normally there was something just off about the chat between her and her bracelet. during.
Yeah, I had no idea. They didn't even explain that. She was just talking to some disembodied voice. It took me forever to realize what was going on. Bad demo. Square Enix has been doing a great job of unselling video games with their demos this year. Harvestella was such a nightmare. Forspoken was a nightmare. I'm in the same camp as you of like bad demo, not bad game. Just like I fell off of a bridge and like there was just no tutorial on traversal or how to get up that bridge, and I had to like Google it and then figured out that if I held down a button I could do like a little teleportation thing. It was just very poorly explained, and I don't know.
I didn't even know you could do a teleport thing.
Yeah, if you hold down like you'll look up in like fucking target engage mode and you'll see like little nubs on the wall that she'll like
oh my god
sprint to.
I had no idea. I played the entire demo without knowing.
It's all like if you go online and watch like go look like if you Google Forspoken gameplay demo on YouTube and watch a couple of them and then find one that has like, you know, 1 million views and it's somebody that's playing it that understands how to play the game and they looked up everything. It looks like such a cool video game compared to the way that I played it like a fucking imbecile. Either way, if you want to see me make a fucking fool out of myself, youtube.com. It's up there.
I also have a playthrough of the demo up on my YouTube channel.
Not bad, not good. Not good. Yeah. Just a bad slice. And I don't know if the answer was give them the first hour or two of the game, or if it was maybe create, instead of a vertical slice, like an actual like pre-made tutorial for 20 minutes, or maybe just no fucking demo, you know? Not all games have demos. I don't know whose decision that was, but it didn't come out great. But either way, that's coming out on the 24th. I am not rip raring to go, but I'm not completely against it. We'll see what's happening on the 24th. Maybe I'll check it out. And then something that you're super fucking hyped for, dude. You're day one on this, right? Dead Space?
I planned on being, yes, correct.
Is this the same helmet? The helmet looks weird to me.
I think it has a little bit of stylized, like
it's got like 9
a bit.
Pieces on it or something like that, like 9 holes. Like it doesn't look like the Dead Space helmet.
I want to say it's almost exactly the same. I think it's just maybe the angle that looks a little bit different.
I guess.
Or this might be like the upgraded version of the helmet throughout the game. And you might be more familiar
I guess in my history I've seen the Dead Space 2 cover art a bunch.
Yeah, it's so like that's angled.
Yeah, so that's like the Dead Space helmet that's in my head. And I guess this is just the Dead Space 1 helmet, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, the Dead Space 2 helmet kind of looks like the Venator helmet from Halo. But the Dead Space 1 helmet is more of a bucket with just like the slits in the front.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. January 27th, baby. Hey, man. A year of fucking podcasting together.
I can't believe it.
It's awesome.
How did we make it this far?
Well, with the help of our listeners and viewers, of course. Thanks to all of you at home. Truly, fucking awesome. The amount of support that we got over the last year for just being 2 dudes with a very, very small following individually, the fact that we pull in hundreds of views on our YouTube videos and hundreds of unique listeners on our podcast feeds every month is nothing short of miraculous, and we can't thank you enough. If you're listening to this, you're very special to us, and it means a lot. This is a passion project that we do for fun, and it's awesome that it's yielding the results that it does. I have no signs of fucking stopping. I know Kaulin's in there with me. We're going to keep this going for years and years to come. This is only the beginning. If you are listening to this on a podcast app, find us on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, find us on the podcast app. If you listen regularly, leave a review. If you watch regularly, come see us on Twitch and say hi. It means the world to us if you click an extra button and do an extra thing, and it makes us grow even more than we already have. But truly, in the long run, you could do nothing but listen, and we'll still be so thankful. And Kaulin, thanks to you, man. This has been a fucking blast.
Yeah, thanks to you too. It's been fun.
Hey, no problem, bro.
It's been an experience. It's been an experience. I've had a great time with it.
Yeah.
We'll see where we are a year from now, you know?
Yeah, probably sitting right here talking about our game of the year for 2023, which will likely be
Starfield.
Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
There it is. You want to place a bet? No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. We're not doing bets anymore.
I'm not. Yeah. Let it be known we're not doing bets anymore because someone can't keep his end when he loses.
Listen, man, I don't like these fucking games that you always suggest for me. All right. That's it for GameList. We will be back a month from now with some more goods for you. You know where to find me. It's Jake Twitchin' everywhere. You know where to find him. It's Kaulin _ everywhere. We are GameList Show on all platforms. Thanks so much for listening, watching, being a part of this thing. Kaulin, take him away.
No, I got nothing.
GG.
I mean, we could do Fimbulwinter, but I feel like that one's been overplayed.
Fimbulwinter's played out, man. We need let's. You know what? Listen. Pretend the podcast just ended. We're giving you bonus here. Let's think of a way to end our shows from here on. Let's just settle on it. This is casual. This is bonus. Something about like keep on gaming, gamers.
we could pull Ellie from The Last of Us. It can't be for
part
nothing.
1 or 2.
Part 1. She says that in part 1. It can't be for nothing. It can't be for nothing.
No, that's not fun.
I don't know. I literally just looked.
That's
at
that's so depressing.
Well, I was thinking of like game stuff and
keep on listing, game. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening is so funny.
No, I hate it. I hate it. No.
And thank you for listening.